Alright, here's a situation. I'm sitting in my house on a hot day, probably the hottest day of the whole summer. And I go to the fridge to get something cool to kind of refresh myself, and there's nothing. Nothing. I don't have ice because I didn't buy ice trays because I forgot to about 6 months ago. But anyway, I'm sitting there looking for something, and there's nothing. And the tap water comes out boiling hot. I burnt myself 4 times trying to turn on the cold water. I don't know. It's a story. But anyways, I call my friend, and I'm like, yo, man. He's like, what? I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I can't hear you. I don't get good reception here. So he goes to another room or something, finds reception. It takes like 5 minutes. He's like, hey, man, can you hear me now? I'm like, yeah. Dude, I have to ask you a question. He's like, what's your question? It's like, man, I didn't go grocery shopping because I'm lazy. Do you have any popsicles I can get from you or anything? Cool. And he said, well, you don't have any? And I explained the story. So he's like, man, I would give you a popsicle, but I got 5 left and they're all my favorite flavors. And I'm like, man, bringing up old stories about stuff I did to help him out back in the day and all this. And he's like, fine, I'll give you a freaking popsicle. Just come on over. As soon as I open the door and walk outside, the sun hits me. It's burning hot. He lives 2 doors down. I'm walking, I'm losing shoes. Freaking, it's crazy. But further ado, this is a popsicle song. Walk into my friend's house, looking for something cool. What do I think of? A popsicle. I say, yo, you got a popsicle? He said, yo, they're in the freezer. In the freezer? In the freezer? In the freezer? I go to the freezer to get myself a popsicle. All they got is creamsicles, fudgesicles, but they don't have the kind that I like. Strawberry. Said, if you're gonna be choosy, then get your ass out of my house. And I said, no, where's your mom? Maybe I'll stick it in her bum. He told me to talk about his mom. So I went to the freezer and just got myself a popsicle. I opened it up and nothing was sweeter than a popsicle on a hot ass day.